to take risk.
Well, if
You
you don't,
understand what
what
I'm
you
saying?
don't do, you don't know. You know what
And
you don't
that's true.
do, you will
That's
never
right.
know what you can do. You know, a lot. I remember when technology first came out,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I was so afraid.
Oh,
Technology was not big in our generation. I remember taking on becoming a school teacher, and I was like, how can I be a school teacher? I don't even know how to use a computer. But it was a risk. I had to take the job in order to take the risk. And I didn't know that I could do it until I actually stepped out there and I did it. And I was successful at it. But you don't know if you don't do. And I think that that's what
it's
a lot of
true.
people realize.
It's true.
You gotta take a chance on something, and else you become stagnant. And then your success is limited. It really
Yeah,
is.
I
Because you
agree.
That's
only
right. That's right.
I agree.
try to do. So I can say I'm successful at this. Okay, I mastered this, but if I don't go above what I've already
Let
mastered,
me do
how do I
something
know I
else.
can do it
That's
again?
right.
How do I know how much more I can do? So I think that that's the key thing, is you have to try to go above what you've already mastered.
It's true.
So if y'all can think back, like being very transparent, being very straightforward and honest, and I know we're on the air, but can you think of a serious risk that you've taken, and maybe both, one that it came out to be a good thing in the end, and maybe one not so good? Can y'all think of one? I know
I'm sure we all
I
have
think
one.
one for me. Okay,
I
go ahead.
think I think that when I took a chance, a risk in moving to the DMV area, that was probably the biggest risk I ever made, because it was a new environment. It was a non-military environment. I didn't have all of the securities that I had previous in my life, and I just took a leap of faith and moved here. Didn't know anybody, had no friends, didn't only knew one person, and I had to really condition myself to a whole new environment that I had never ever been in before. I think that this was probably, and it's been 11 years now, that was probably the biggest risk taker I've ever made.
I think mine is similar, like just, you know, transitioning from married to by myself, you know, as they say, you never by yourself because you got the Lord, but you know what I mean. And so just transitioning and moving into a place, just me, like I had the boys for a while, but now it's just, at some point it was going to be just me, right? So I'm such a people person, and I could talk to the nail in the wall, and the nail in the wall not talking back to me. So
Right.
it's like now I have to transition to know that it's okay to be by yourself and you can breathe. And that was a big risk for me to move into a place. Just Daphne, moving, responsible for everything, decisions, whatever decision I make, I have to make and live with it and roll with the punches. That was really a big risk. And it was a positive risk, I would say. The outcome came out pretty well. I'm now feeling the other, you know, kind of interesting feeling of not having anyone in the home with me, but it's cool. You know, I have people to talk to, I can call, and I'm learning to be okay and content. That's a risk right there, to be content.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You know, Daphne, I'm in the same place. You know, when I moved, and it's been a little bit longer for you, but a little less time for me. But that was big for me. You know, it was like, I remember, I was just telling someone the other day, I woke up, and normally I'm like kind of snugged up in my little corner because I haven't done this. This is all new for me. But now I'm kind of like moving and enjoying the freedom of being on my own, and it's a whole new world. It was a big risk, it was a big step, but I'm learning to be free in it. So you know, I'm right with you. I definitely understand that.
I think one of the biggest risks that I took, which I was very apprehensive about, was when I remarried and blended my family. I had this gorgeous guy. He had these kids. I got these kids. Right. We got married and bought a house closed on our house in the same day. Awesome. And it was, when I say, I think my heart was like double beat all day. All day. I think that was the biggest, because I was so afraid of failing.
Right.
I was so afraid of failing my children, you know, oh my God, you know, I was big on that. I'm still very big on, you know, what it looks like to the family, you know, what I'm going to make my family look like, you know, and not that that's, you know, really important, but, you know, it just, you know, was something that always resonated with me, you know, you got to do good, you know, for the family, you know, and that was a really big risk. And I was really, really nervous. And when I say God had to beat me in my head with a brick, send the prophet and say, hey, listen, I sent the man. Go on and do it.
I know.
It was a really big risk. I was very nervous, very, very. I want to take a step further and say I was really afraid that that it was, you know, oh my God, what if these kids don't mesh? You know, what if me and these kids don't mesh? What if me and him and you know, I was really, really nervous about it, but to God be the glory. It was not all smooth sailing, you know, because it was a family. You know, we were all growing up together, but it worked out well 20 plus years later.
I know. So, you know, all of us are go-getters. We're innovators, we're risk takers, somewhat now for me, and we're leaders. I noticed when I was reading something and it said that it can develop confidence and resilience when you take risk in life. How is that? Is it because of repetitiveness? You get used to it? What does that statement exactly mean? Build my confidence.
Taking a risk builds your confidence. You have to have a certain level of confidence to even take a risk. You know, you have to at least believe that it just might work.
It might work. That's right. That's right.
It just might work. So I have to have a level of confidence if I'm going to switch jobs. I have to have a level of confidence
in yourself.
Confidence in myself that I'm equipped to be able to take
That's
this
right. To make this happen.
To make this happen. I don't think that risk taking can be eliminated without self-confidence. You have to have that confidence in order to be a risk taker, because if you don't have the confidence to do it, you're not going to do it. You're just not.
And with that, I think that once you take the risk, you know, you have to have a certain level of confidence, you know, to take it. But once you make it through, you know, and you see it panned out okay. And sometimes it doesn't. It's a lesson learned. So it teaches you, okay, so that we can teach someone else. So therefore, our confidence should be built either way.
Exactly.
You know, I am a firm believer that I do not believe that we go through life failing, because we don't all succeed at everything.
Right.
You know, we make mistakes. You know, sometimes we just kind of stumble through some things. You know, I'm a firm believer that it's not for naught. It is to teach us so that we can teach someone else. We are all teachers. You know, we are all here for a reason. You're not just going through life succeeding so you can tell everybody, oh, I succeeded. You know? And that's all you got? Well, then I don't think I need to talk to you, because, you know, you can't tell me what it's like to struggle through or try to get through, or maybe, you know, come on, I can help you through.
That's true.
And so, you know what, it's so funny, because, you know, I can recall telling, you know, my children, my personal children, you know, sometimes we put our non-risking selves on them. Like, I told you not to do that. Don't do that. Don't do this. And, you know, sometimes I think I remember telling Denzel just the other day, I appreciate you growing up, proud of you, because you're taking risks and chances. Because even in the simplest things, him and his girlfriend were roller skating, and they were learning to roller skate backwards. And I don't know about you guys, but I used to roller skate backwards all the time. But let my boy get on some roller skates today, we might have a problem. We might have a problem. I had to come rescue me. I don't know if I can still do that. But I'm saying that's a risk taking, even in their age. They don't see it that way, but it is. You're getting on skates, you're on a floor, and you're trying to do backward skating. Okay.
Let me tell you what the difference is. The difference is they see it as an adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is exciting.
Yeah.
You know, they see it as an adventure, which is the same thing as a risk.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I have a saying I've taught my children, and I hope that they, you know, can carry it through life. And I've often said to them, you have to live your life as though it could be you. And not, oh no, that can't be me. you know.
Yeah.
And the difference is live your life, you know, with taking risks. You know, it could be me, you know, the positive things, you know, that it could be me. But also, if you live your life, you know, as if I mess up, you know, it could go down.
Dust yourself off and try again.
There you go.
Pick yourself up and try again.
Yeah. Hey, so we have a question. Lawrence wants to know, is finding love a risk?
Well,
Keyword,
yeah, because I mean, Vaughn just asked me, oh, so how's the love life? What you doing with your love life? What you doing? I mean, I said, oh, I'm not even thinking about that, because I think that it is a risk. And if you're not willing to take that risk, then you're not going to ever find true love. And that's the truth.
I agree.
And so I have to feel that's one of them spots, Vaughn, that I don't know if I'm willing to risk.
Me either.
I need to know. To know that this man,
know, it's scary. I'm going to tell you, it is
my mess, and I'm not perfect. All in my mess.
And this is the thing, and this is why I think I may be afraid to take that risk, is because I've taken the risk and I failed.
Right.
So when you've taken the risk, it's kind of like when Leisha said, like swimming. You jumped in the water, it didn't work. And now you jump in the water again and you almost drown. And it's like you jump in the water again and you almost drown. It's like, do I really want to jump in?
But at the same time, you remember them saying, try, and try again. I look at that, okay, as my toaster, it don't work. It keep burning the toast, or it blew a fuse. Guess what I'm doing? Throw it out. I'm going to get another one.
Well, I don't want to buy another man. Okay, I don't want to buy another man. If I invest in a relationship at 50.
But sometimes, you know what? People do that. A lot of people do that. Oh, and they stay in these relationships because they've invested so much time, they've invested so much money and so much of themselves, and they stay, and they're miserable. My thing is, and this is my opinion and my view of it, sometimes that person is not for you. Oh, I have built this person. I put all me into them. Oh, I got them to this point, not for nobody else to have them. Well, guess what? You was only building for that person anyway.
I appreciate my risk and in my marriage when I was, you know, with my best friend. I will say my best friend.
With your other.
And with my best friend, because until I die, it's gonna be a best friend, okay? Because there's nothing can take away from that. I'm just gonna say that because it's some history. You know, you got history. Anytime you got history, you got friendship.
Yeah, he's your friend.
So now that I have moved on, it's going to be a little, I don't know, that risk thing, Vaughn. I don't know. I'm going to have to pray, and y'all going to have to help me through it. I don't, like you said, once you mess up or once you feel like it wasn't perfect as you thought, and things have transitioned, you don't want to go and repeat it. And that's that fear part, Leisha. That's that, I don't know.
Right. Especially,
I didn't want to repeat it, but guess what? I took a risk.
Right. Yours came out positive.
When you've taken the risk more than one time, and I can speak for myself, you know, it's like you kind of step back and you're like, you know, I've been taking this risk so many times. I don't know, maybe.
Gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, girl.
I don't know. I just want, you know what? I probably live in a fairy tale.
I just don't think you should give up. I truly believe that there is someone for everybody. Everybody should, and I believe, does have a happy ending somewhere. But if you quit, when do you have it? When do you get it? Okay, I quit.
Just for
me. I don't say I'm going to necessarily quit. That risk taking is serious. I don't know. I guess, like you said, it teaches us great things, Alicia. You said it teaches us a lesson. It has rewards. Like in your case, it has a reward. I don't know. I guess it's, you know, I don't know. All I got to say is, I guess we have to take positive, calculated risk, because sometimes you can take a risk and you probably shouldn't have.
Right.
Well, that's when you pull out that trusty old-fashioned pen and pad, you draw a line down the middle, and you do the pros and the cons. How is this going to work out positively, and how might this be negative?
So you know, now that you're saying that, so do we do that with every risk that we take? Like,
you know, I really believe if we did, we probably, you know, wouldn't take as many risks. But since we don't, you know.
So for instance, it's almost like, I don't know, it's a blending thing, like you said, balancing too. It's like, okay, so if you want a new job, you like your job, but you want a new job because you're in your vision, in your mind, you want your life to be a certain way with the job. So you go out for the job with hoping that you get the job. Now, there's a risk. When does the risk happen? Does the risk happen you trying, or does the risk happen you when you go get it and you get in?
The risk happens when you fill out that application.
When you actually take the job, when you say.
So you say take the job. She said fill out the application.
When you give your current employer 2 weeks notice and say, because we've all done it, and we're like, oh my God, is this for real? Because what if this backfires? I done quit my good, secure job, and now I am taking a risk, because you don't know if it's going to work out.
I actually did that. I did that, Vaughn, like a year ago. And when I tell you, I was crying, and I was just, my head was like, oh my God, am I doing it right?
We know, melodramatic.
And then, but I'm on my own with my thoughts, with the Lord and me. That's it. So I had no one to confide, like you, Lee. You have someone to confide, say, hey, what do you think about this? Help me figure this out. We have friends, but you know what I'm talking about, that man that you live with. You have somebody to go to and say, hey, what do you think about this? And so at this point, it was like, Daphne, do or die. You do this, this might happen. You do this might happen. What you gonna do, girl? What you gonna do? And I see, I have somebody on my feed too that says, why Beaver said, you're too beautiful not to take risks. You never know what God has in store for you unless you take a risk. Risk is a walking in faith, and that is true. And she said,
so
yes, I was crying. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, am I making the right decision? Am I making the right decision? But you know what? When I stopped and really prayed and really let it be in God's hands, and
that's right.
I ain't gonna get too deep, but actually let that situation sit.
Yeah,
and not worry.
Let it go.
Oh my goodness. It was the best thing ever. I'm like so happy where I am right now. So not to say it was bad. I'm just saying this is what was supposed to happen. This was what I'm where I'm supposed to have been. So I know that for sure.
That's with anything. I think that being believers, any risk that we take, the bottom line is we have to trust.
We have to trust God. That's right.
Has the final answer. In order for me to take a risk, I got to know that I put it in God's hands, and I'm like, okay,
absolutely, absolutely,
because he's gonna always have the final say. I may be able to take the risk, but he has.
But it's his plan.
I'm going to tell you. Right now, I'm in the waiting stage. I took a risk on something, and I'm just waiting. And you know how you go hush, and you don't say anything to anybody. You don't say. You
walk
just pray
silence.
and you
walk
ask God. Absolutely, you just pray and you ask God, and then you just leave it there.
Exactly.
I'm in the stage of I left it there. So I'm in, because God answers in yes, no, or wait, and I'm in the wait.
Right, wait.
So y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for me, because I'm waiting.
That's where we struggle with, though, Lee, is the wait.
That's right.
We like it when God says, yes.
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 Good risk. Good risk.
No,
take it.
We go in our corner and we pout, but we're like, okay. But when he says wait, it's like, tell me to wait. What does wait mean? Wait means wait.
Sit still, be quiet. Let me see what I'm going to do here.
Yeah.
Let me see if this is going to be the direction that I want you to go, because sometimes all risk is not good risk. Some risk.
That's true. And that's what I'm saying.
And when you make costly risk, you gotta it takes you about 10 steps back when you make costly.
Yes, it does.
And you can take somebody with
knock you off your feet.
And you can take somebody with you. You don't take anybody with you.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And in my case, I would be taking my whole family. It's true.
Yeah. Exactly. It affects everybody around you, because when you take wrong risk, then it affects everybody, and everybody is looking at you going, did you really do that?
What's wrong with you? They'll be like, what?
Did you not pray? Did you not hear what God said? Did you not hear the voice of the Lord?
Right.
And you sit there looking crazy. You like, and go back to what Daphne said, even in relationship, it's like, as singles, it's like, I don't want to wake up and go.
I need some adventure.
I'm gonna tell you, you ain't gotta be single to wake up and go. Because I do that too.
I don't want to do that. I want to wake up and go, hey, how you doing? But I don't want to wake up with that sad face.
You know what? And you know what, Vaughn? I think sometimes when, and this is what I'm gonna try to apply from my life, when I get ready to take a risk, because I'm gonna try to take some more cautious but smart risk, because you just don't take risks arbitrarily. I'm gonna take some risk and I'm gonna try to leave it. I'm gonna try to believe in it. I'm gonna try to put the trust in it. I'm gonna try to manifest it. I'm gonna try to work on it. I'm not just gonna say, oh, I'm gonna take a risk, or I'm not gonna take a risk. I'm gonna try to jump in and leap. Take that leap of faith.
But when you
jump in it and work with it. Work on it.
That's right. Like you said, when you take a risk, it's something that is calculated, you know, that you've decided I'm going to do this, and you look at how the outcome could be. So let me, you know, I'm going in and I want a positive outcome. So I'm going to do everything possible to make it go positive.
But then do you believe that, okay, if it doesn't, is it smart to have a plan B?
Plan B with a risk. Maybe.
I think that that's not using your faith. If you have a plan B, you're not, you know, taking a real risk. You know, just make.
But God said, "Be wise in all our decisions." Hold up, the Lord said, "Be wise in all your decisions." Therefore,
and in all things, confront God first.
Right.
Consult God first. So I think that if you are taking a risk, you take a risk with your faith and you move forward. Now, if it doesn't work, Lord, I need you to guide me. What we gonna do here now? You know?
But if he already is guiding you,
with the weight, or do we just stick with the weight? Because then you don't have to have if you stick with the weight. I like the weight. I do. I like the weight.
Well, if you wait on the Lord, you know, you're going to get the outcome, you know, that I would hope
that he has for you. Not necessarily what you have for you, but what he has for you. You know, he wants to give us the desires of our hearts. However, whatever's in thine will shall be done. It needs
to be pleasing unto them.
It will be done.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I believe that I need to take some more risk. I would say that. I'm going to put that on the table.
So too.
Well, girl, don't go walking those tight wires looking at.
But I'm saying,
don't go walking on those tight wires.
I think I definitely
financial relationships.
Yeah, I think me too.
Well, I think Daph and I took a risk, and we decided that we were going to do this liquids, proteins, and vegetables.
Yeah.
And it's a risk.
Yeah. Well, I struggle with the protein.
When I became
you took a real risk. You was just in the house board. You was vegan, then you was
board in the house, board in the house, board in the house, board in the house, board. But you know what? I really think, like I said, I'm going to take the leap of faith and test the waters out and start really, like, I have a brand that I'm trying to, you know, get off the ground. I've been procrastinating and sitting on it because there's always a fear in the back of your head that will not be the outcome that I want. And so if I believe in the brand and I believe in myself and I know the Lord is putting me in that direction to do it, I'm going to ask for his strength to get it done and just go on and run with it.
I think all you can do is ask for God's strength and Lord, you guide me, and just step out and just continue to move forward. You've already taken the step there. You just got to, you know, keep going. You, from what I know of your beautiful self, have a good habit of putting up that good yield sign. You know, I don't know.
I mean, we're taking a risk.
Take your yield sign away and just move forward. I think it's going to work out fine. You know, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
It was fun. The ride was fun, right? But we're taking a risk too. Us three, you know, this is a venture. This is a journey. You know, just being out here, being transparent.
Think about it. When we first talked about doing this, like back, I think in April, when we were just sitting in the house.
No, we were laying in the bed.
Upside down.
We were having conversation, and then somebody said, you know, this would be a great.
Since we're doing it anyway.
We're talking.
Actually, and look at how far we've come. So this is like a prime example, even through some obstacles and personality differences, because we do have our own personalities, but I think that we blend together and we make it work. And this show is successful because we took a risk. We're like, you know, we've never done anything like that. And nobody in our family has done anything like this. So I think
they're so private.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, we can help we can help other people if, and that's just in general, if we're a little transparent. We're not trying to say, oh, just hang yourself dry. We're saying sometimes if the Lord, or if you're led to share, it can help someone else. And being risk takers, that's a risk. Sharing is a risk.
I just believe that that's what we're here for anyway. We are not here for, our own selves. We are here for others,
Right.
If not to teach, to be taught, to help someone along the way. Those old hymns, you're going to help someone along the way.
Well, I think that, even, Daphne said with her brand, but I think that one of the biggest risks for the pandemic, during this pandemic, is joining forces with my parents. It's like, wow, when I made the commitment to do that, that was a big commitment.
Yeah, that was a risk for you.
I'm driving to Jersey almost every weekend, and I'm like doing it, but it was a risk. I didn't know how it was going to work out. I didn't know how people were going to receive it, but it has been an awesome journey. So I think for me, that was like a leap of faith. It really was. I was like, I've never done that before. I live 2.5 hours away from them, and going to church 3.5 hours away, that's a risk. That's really a big risk, because I'm not on the Zoom. I'm actually in the car driving.
Well, ladies, I guess the outcome is nothing will change unless or until you take a risk.
Absolutely.
What is that old saying? Try again, and you'll never know if you never try.
I truly believe that. I think that is.
Well, it's been real.
We have really enjoyed talking to each other.
Yes, as always. Fun.
We hope you got something out of it. Facebook, we love you, and thanks for joining us. Hope to see you next time. We are the Cousins for Life.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Love you. Bye, Vaughn. Bye, Lee.
Bye.